Why do some of us ride through the winter and some of us don't? It's cold, it's gloomy, it's wet. What is the attraction? For me, riding is something that I can't or don't want to stop doing just because the weather gets bad. Someone once said there's no such thing as bad weather, just inadequate clothing. They were most likely talking about bad weather in general and not specifically motorcycling. But I think you can apply it to any situation. So with that in mind, I put on my heated gilet and heated socks and set off into the December gloom to see if I could isolate what it is that keeps me riding into the winter months. For me, since last year especially, but even before that, life has taken on more importance. Following my cancer diagnosis and treatment, then my subsequent spell in intensive care where I thought I might die, I see certain things very differently now. I have an element of survivor's guilt after getting through my surgery, possibly because I didn't require chemotherapy or radiotherapy, which came as a bit of a surprise and has been a little bit difficult to deal with. Video making has also taken a bit of a back seat since surgery. I'm still trying to come to terms with the new me. Periods of extreme tiredness has dogged me ever since. This means that after a long day at work, I don't always feel like turning on the computer and beginning the editing process, which can be engrossing and very tiring by itself. It is my intention to continue to make videos, but in a reduced capacity, at least for the time being. So my Patreon account is now cancelled because that wasn't sitting right with me. I couldn't continue to take money from my Patreon supporters for the meagre amount of content that I've been providing. This was just adding to my feelings of guilt. So I'd like to thank all of my Patreon supporters one last time in this video. Through all of these trials over the last few years, riding has remained the one crucial factor that has kept me going. It helps me to put things into perspective by reordering my thoughts and by helping me to make sense of the world and my life. Which means that riding through the winter is just as important for my mental health as riding through the summer. I feel sorry for people who can't ride, either because they never got a license, they have no interest in bikes, or for some other reason. They will never know the joy of being on the open road or filtering through lines of traffic, of getting to the front of nearly every queue, of the camaraderie and the friendships that come from being part of this exceptional group of human beings. Mental health is such an individual concept. It's difficult to understand what people are experiencing at times. I know that since last year, apart from the feelings of guilt, I've also recently found myself suffering what I presume to be PTSD. Whether this is a result of my surgery or the trauma I suffered in the ITU, or whether it's an amalgamation of the last 2.5 years and everything I've gone through, I'm not entirely sure. I do know for certain that I am a changed man. Some of my thoughts and actions have confused even me. Hopefully continued meditation on the bike will help me work through some of my issues. But let's get back to what we started off talking about. As I've already said, it's cold, it's wet and it's gloomy. So what are the benefits of riding through the winter months? Well, for a start, I think it makes you a better all-round rider. Wet roads and cold tyres don't come as a sudden surprise to you on those all too frequent, inclement early summer days. You get into the new riding season bike smart, your skills honed and ready for the twisties, confident and relaxed. Not overconfident and lacking due to skill fade.